located to join other families just to stay near where there is a school. And when I go back to those villages where I grew up from, I still see the same challenges. And we have people in public offices who are supposed to deliver development, and you find that they are nowhere to be seen. And coming from such a background, it motivated me to join, to be an advocate for good governance and human rights, so that at the end of the day, I can be able to speak for my people who may not have an opportunity to say or either, air their grievances over what is going on in the country. So I love governance issues. I love doing analysis on governance issues. And I think for almost 7 to 8 years now, I've been very active, and I've written a lot of articles about the governance system in Zambia. Ranging from public institutions and also human rights. And I may also say that in 2016, I got privileged to start working with Amnesty International, and there's a lot that I've learned at the end of the day, that I've participated in international, liaison, like standing in between victims of human rights and different governments. It has been a very good experience for me, because at the end of the day, I've learned a lot of skills that I feel I need to share with people from my country, so that we can understand and we can deal with these governance issues and make sure that we protect human rights. I did, when I was at the University of Zambia, I did my political science there, studies. I was majoring in political science. And I think I've got so much passion about governance-related issues. And this is just about me. Besides that, on my part-time, I love farming so much. So besides politics, and I think sometimes people, they think we just discuss about politics, but I also enjoy farming.
Yes, excellent. I saw you. I was on your page, and I saw you with a cow.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the real of me. I cannot write about my history without talking about livestock, cattle, and basically culturally, because from my culture, those are the basics that you have to be taught as you are still a little child. And we grew up, they were more like our best friends as kids, and you also taught them now like how to take good care of them. And let me just make this point very clear. I know sometimes people talk about, the people who keeps cattle and stuff like that. But for some of us, we value cattle because they are the reason why we managed to go to school. Without them, we feel like we wouldn't have made it in life. Like even just, to have an opportunity to sit in class and be able to learn something that at the end of the day today, we are trying to give back to our country through being advocates for good governance and human rights. So for some of us, that's the reason why we treasure those animals so much. And that's the truth about me. That's the truth about me. That's what defines me. If someone comes to tell me, SIKAILE is ABCD, they don't talk about the animal aspect, how friendly I am to animals and how I love farming, then that story is fake.
Yes. So anyway, I am also half Tonga. I spent all my holidays in the harvest season in the village with my grandmother. So I know what you're talking about. So you have a very impressive resume. I admire your courage. I admire what you write. You are a young man with a vision, with courage, who is fearless and who is bold. So I just want to commend you for that, and continue doing it, because that's what we like in Zambia. We need young men to step up and fight for better governance in Zambia. Like you rightly said, myself, I was a mother. I had all my children in Zambia, and the situation in the hospitals was deplorable. And now, 30 years later, young mothers are still facing the same problems that I faced. Lack of material, lack of personnel. Zambia is a rich country, and that's why we are here. So real quick, so the first topic we are going to talk about is Amnesty International. can you give us a brief history so we can understand what Amnesty International does? Like, what is the role of Amnesty International in our world today before we get to the actual subject?
In fact, I would just do everything in a very simple and summarized way, talking about Amnesty International. Amnesty International is a global organization whose main objective is to ensure that different governments, different institutions around, they keep their promises. And what are these promises? Making sure that every government adhere to international rights. We talk about the human rights charters under the United Nations. So our job is very simple, and we just want to make sure that every government respects its citizens' rights. Every government is able to make sure that, because we see politicians during the political campaigns, they tell us so many things. We are going to do this for you. We are going to bring this and this and this to you. And now when they fail to do that, citizens ask questions. You didn't give us, this and that. And then you see those in power, buying military weapons against the citizens. And that's where Amnesty International comes in to say, no, you told the voters that you are going to do this and this. Can you keep the promise? It's their right to ask for what you promised to them. And some of these things, you don't even have to ask them because they are enshrined in the supreme laws of the land, like the Constitution, like the right to life. You don't have to go and ask a politician to say, no, give me the right to life. That's your right. Yes, it's a birthright that nobody has got the right to take it away from you. So Amnesty International just focuses on to make sure that every government is following in the respect for human rights. That's the major interest. That's the vision. I'm sure that's why people would want to know what is the vision of Amnesty International. So the vision of Amnesty International is to make sure that governments, they stick to what they promise the people. Governments, they do what their constitutions outlines. And this is where, when we see that there's a problem in the way, because we don't just come up and write a report and maybe inform our colleagues and complain about something. We first read the laws of that particular country. Like, for instance, Zambia. We first read the Constitution of Zambia. What does the Constitution of Zambia says? And when we see what is obtaining on the ground, we see people are being killed. What does the Constitution of Zambia allow those in power to be killing people? The answer is no. And that's where now Amnesty International will come and say, hey, you are there to protect the people and not to kill the people. Thank you.
Thank you. So, in short, we can just say that Amnesty International kinds of holds the governments accountable. They do the checks and balances.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. We don't ask you so much. We just follow what is supposed to be done. We just remind different governments that this is what you are doing and this is what is expected to be doing for your people. Exactly. It's not for our benefit, it's about the people.
Exactly. So this is very important to understand, because we have current leaders who think they can do whatever they want and get away with it. The fact is, we are in a global community. We have all these organizations who are there to protect the people, because we know that leaders abuse their power. When they get in office, they get drunk with power and they start abusing the people. So that's why we are living in a global community where we are all accountable. If you are in a government leader, you are supposed to serve the people and you are accountable to the people. And then we have this global